Thank you very much for your responses. Yes. Okay, so let's stop the chat. Thank you very much. Let's stop the chat. So what's our agenda for today's session? So our agenda is to understand AWS command line interface. Okay. So in two ways we can work with AWS services. Okay. So one way is by using the console access. The other one is command line interface. We had a quick discussion about this in the last session. We already know how to connect your AWS account. So this is the AWS cloud. Okay. This is the AWS cloud. In two ways you can work with the AWS cloud. One is by using the console access. The other way of connecting to AWS account and working with services is by using the command line interface. This is called as console access. The other way of connecting to AWS account is by using the command line interface. Console access is what we are already aware of. Every day we are logging into AWS account, isn't it? By using, how are we logging in? By using the URL. By using the URL aws.amazon.com, and we are logging in with our email address, and we are logging in with the password. These are the credentials we are providing to log into AWS account. This way of connecting to AWS cloud and working with the AWS services is called as command line console access. People also call it as graphical user interface. There's one more way to connect to AWS account and work with AWS services by using the command line interface. We connect from the command prompt to your AWS account and work with the services. So in today's session, we will be experiencing how can we connect your AWS account using the command line interface, and if required, we should be in a position to be working with the command line interface. So we'll be experiencing the concept of command line interface in this session. Okay. And then we'll experience AWS CLI on Linux, and we'll also discuss about the concept of roles. So this is our plan for our today's session. So before getting on, let's have a quick interaction with some of our participants. Vallabha.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Vallabha. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Your question, please.
Sir, I want to ask regarding our previous session that we saw users and groups and their policies, right?
Yes,
so
you are right.
I want to ask that what if we put one user which only has a permission like EC2 only, and what if we put that user in the group which has a permission for like S3 only?
S3.
Then,
In that case, the user will have both the accesses. Okay.
okay,
One,
sir,
he will derive it from the group policy. One, he
yes.
directly out attach it to the EC2. So he'll work with both the services. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Vallabha. How is your learning?
I'm learning great, sir. Thank you for
Thank
the
you very
opportunity.
much. Thank you very much. So please drop your hand, Vallabha, once you're done with your question. Let's have one more interaction. Abhishek Kanwar.
Thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity to ask questions.
Thank you.
My quick question is, actually, I gone through some AWS pages where I have encountered with the AWS S3 related things, and which is one of the access point, AWS S3
access control
point.
list.
Yeah, access control list and access point also they have given. Actually, I attended one of the interview for AWS, and they asked me the details about what is the access point, AWS3 access point, and how it works and all this thing.
No, whenever Abhishek, have you observed whenever we had a feature called as what is that? When the bucket and the end user is at very far distances, there is a concept called transfer acceleration.
Correct. Edge locations. We use the edge location for the interconnecting between normal
edge locations, isn't it? Okay. So when you enable transfer acceleration, you get some endpoint.
Okay.
Okay. So using that endpoint, first we will be uploading it into the bucket, and then from the uploading it to the edge location, from the edge location, the object gets uploaded into the bucket. Abhishek. Okay.
Okay.
So that is the endpoint. Okay.
That. Okay. Sure.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Anything more, Abhishek?
Nothing, sir. Thanks for giving the brief discussion as well and all things.
Okay. Okay. Clear about identity and access management. What is the exact
So,
advantage of identity and access management.
yeah, actually, last session I missed due to some medical emergencies.
Okay.
But I will go through the AWS links, and in case I have a questions, I will
Yes.
ask to you.
Okay. Thank you. Let's have one more interaction. Farindra Sai.
Hi Sunil, good morning.
Good morning, Sai.
So my question is, with the object, I mean it is from previous class. Am
Yeah,
I
please.
audible?
Yeah, we can hear you. Please tell me.
Yeah. So it is from versioning from S3.
Okay.
Okay. If the object uploaded is modified by others who are not the owner,
Okay.
will then also still the versioning happen? Like
If you
suppose,
enable versioning, it will maintain the older version as well as newer version. Okay.
okay. So if I'm just a third party person who is accessing the uploaded object.
Okay.
So I have a edit access and I am accessing it. Then also
Okay.
still it will create the version, right?
So when you are accessing it, you cannot change the object, Sai. Okay.
Okay.
You are just reading the object. Okay. When versioning happens, when you modify an object, then when you enable versioning, at that time when you modify an object, the enable versioning feature will maintain the current version as well as its previous versions. Okay.
So I mean,
Okay.
suppose the uploaded object is a Word document or a,
Anything. It could be Word document or it could be an image also.
okay.
Whatever it is, it will maintain the multiple versions of that particular object. Sai.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. One more interaction with Smita Kulkarni.
Hello.
Yes, Smita, how are you doing? Sorry. Sorry, Smita, you can talk now. You are allowed to unmute one more time.
Okay. Hi, Sunil.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for giving me chance for
you.
interaction. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Smita. Yes, your question.
Yeah, actually, I have created S3 bucket and deployed my Angular application as a static website on S3.
Angular application, I think, does not come as a static. It becomes a dynamic site, isn't it?
No, I am able to deploy it successfully because that's only front end. So
Okay.
I have deployed it as a static website.
Okay.
But then I have received.
You are able to access the site using
Yes.
the endpoint? I mean,
Yes.
using that
Actually,
static website hosting, when you enable it, you get a URL.
Correct. And to get access it, I need to make that bucket as a public because my backend I have
Obviously.
deployed it in the Beanstalk. So as I have declared that site as a public, I have received an email from AWS support saying that you have, that is a warning email saying you have given a public access for this particular website. So you can restrict access by with multiple access points they have given. So
Okay.
is it not recommended to give a public access to any web?
No, that's just a warning. If your application needs public access, you can proceed with public access, Smita.
Okay. So there
That's
is
not a
nothing
problem.
like a best practice.
No.
Okay. So I'm
Generally,
doing
if
right.
it is an application, as it is a web application, it should be having a public access. Okay.
Okay.
But Smita, what you have experimented is very good. But you will have much more exposure towards security aspects when we learn about VPC. Okay.
Okay, Sunil. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Smita.
Yeah, bye.
Clear about identity and access management? Are
Yes,
you there when we
Sunil.
learned what is the importance of IAM? Can
Yes,
you
Sunil.
explain in your own words?
So IAM is nothing but to restrict access for the users depending on or based on the policies which we have. We can also create a custom policies for the users.
Okay, so it's all about restricting the AWS cloud, isn't it?
Correct.
So the default account, no matter how big the client is, he'll have only one root account and you will have several IAM users, and user A we can restrict to EC2 service, user B we can restrict it to S3 service, user C you can restrict it to both the services as per the requirement, isn't it? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Smita. Okay.
Thank you, Sunil.
I hope you are enjoying the training, and please.
Yes, Sunil. It is really nice.
Thank you. So today we will be experiencing about the command line interface. Okay. Thank you. Let's proceed. So we had now interaction. So many more participants to be interacted, but as we know, our primary concern is to complete the device agenda. So today we'll experience about the command line interface. A quick repeat one more time. Try to understand. In two ways, you can connect to your AWS cloud and work with AWS services. One is by using the console access. In two ways, you can work with the AWS cloud and work with AWS services. One is by using the console access. The other way of connecting to AWS cloud is called as a command line interface. Console access, we are all aware of. Every day we are logging into AWS cloud by using aws.amazon.com. You are logging in with your email address and password. The moment you log in, the first page is called as a AWS management console, where you will see list of all the services. You select the required service as per your requirement, and you start working with the service. This way of working with AWS cloud is called as a console access. Is also called as a graphical user interface. There's one more way. I repeat again, there's one more way to connect your AWS account. You can also create EC2 machines. You can also create S3 buckets using a separate approach called as a command line interface. Today, we are experiencing how can you connect your AWS account using the command line interface, and how can we start working with specific services. All this we are planning for today's session. So let's move on. Okay. If you want to connect your AWS account from the console access, my dear friends, if you want to connect your AWS account from the console access, the regular way, the login credentials what are required is email address and password, isn't it? The login details what is required is email address and password. Using the email address and password, you will be logging into your AWS cloud. Whereas if you want to connect your AWS account from the console access, email address and password is not required. You need to have access key and secret key. My dear friends, you need to have access key and the login details which are you need to provide to connect to AWS cloud from the command line interface are access keys and key interface. Okay. Now I want to show you how to connect to AWS cloud using the command interface. Now your question could be, Sunil, where can we get our access key and secret keys? To get these credentials, step one, you log into console access. Okay. Step one, you log into console access and then you can get the keys. Okay. Let's log in to AWS cloud as a regular approach, that is called a console access, aws.amazon.com. I have logged into AWS Management Console. Right now, we are dealing with which service? Identity and Access Management. Under Security Identity Compliance, you will find IAM. And what do you want? What do you want? Why did you connect it to AWS Cloud? What you want is credentials called access key and secret key. Where can you get the access key and secret key? Can you see here under quick links? Can you see my security credentials? Okay. Under quick links, you can see my security credentials. Under my security credentials, can you see here access key ID and secret key ID? Right now, there are no access keys and secret keys. Use these access keys to make calls to AWS from the command line interface. Okay. So you have to generate the keys. By default, keys will not be available. For security reasons, keys will not be available. You have to generate the keys. How to generate the keys? Log into AWS cloud from the console access generate the keys. Once you generate the keys, then you have an approach of connecting to cloud using the command line interface. So I want to generate the keys. Here I'm providing right now, there are no keys. As you can see, I'm creating a new access key. Yes, just within a click, you are able to get the keys, and these are the keys which are required. You can see here, access key ID and secret access key. These are the two credentials. These are the crude credentials. If you want, you can download the credentials for your reference purpose. Okay, so I have downloaded it, but you can also take a copy of it directly from here. I'm just copying my access key ID and secret key ID. Yes, got it? Close it. Got it. Now the credentials are generated. Now the credentials are generated. I have shown you how to generate the credentials. If you already have the keys, that's well and good. If you're not having the keys, no, don't worry. Don't go to IAM and then you have an action called My Security Credentials. Click on My Security Credentials. You will get the go to access keys, and then here you will get those two keys. Okay, which I already have it. Okay. So once I have it, okay. Now, as I have both the values, access key ID and secret access key. Access key ID and secret access key. As I have both the values, I can now connect to AWS Cloud using the command line interface. Okay. Next. From my personal laptop, I want to connect to AWS Cloud. From my personal laptop, I want to connect to my AWS Cloud using these access keys and secret keys. You can do that, but you need to install a small software in your personal laptop. Whenever you want to log in, you want to connect to AWS Cloud from the command line interface of a particular machine. It could be less laptop or a desktop, that's fine. But if you want to connect it, you need to install one small software on the machine from which you're planning to access. That software is called as AWS CLI tool for Windows. Okay, so that's a AWS CLI tool. So as my laptop is Windows operating system, so I will search for AWS CLI tool for Windows operating system. So select the first option. Select the first option. It's a software which you need to get downloaded. Install AWS CLI. Yes, I want to install it, and this is the tool which helps you to download the latest version. I am downloading that particular software. It's pretty small software. It gets downloaded in no time. Yes, it has been downloaded. It's a MSI file, so obviously you need to install it. Are you sure you want to install it? Yes, I want to install it. Click on hello. Click on let's wait. It takes some time for computing the space requirements. Any questions on AWS CLI? Any questions on AWS CLI? Sarvanan Rajendran.
Hi, Sunil. How are you?
I'm doing good, Sarvanan.
Yeah,
Please
thank
tell me a question.
you. Yeah, just now we downloaded the key, right? Access key and
Secret
key,
keys.
right? Yeah, secret key. That is for any specific machine, or we have to download
Any
and
machine you can connect.
So,
If you
so
have the
have
keys, it's the Excel file we have downloaded. Okay. If you have the values, that's enough. Okay. There's no importance for the file, Sarunan.
That is for any specific machine, or generally we need to download, then we have to map with any other instance.
No, you don't need to download it. Let's say if you don't want to download, you can take a note of it. Downloading is optional. If you have the values, that's enough. Okay.
Okay.
Clear, Saravanan. If you want to send these details to anybody, you can send it as an email, as an attachment. That's it. There's no specific
Oh.
advantage of downloading that particular file. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You can see that is a CSV file, Saravanan. Okay, which we have downloaded. Does not have any
Yeah.
importance. Okay.
Okay.
Even if you
Okay.
open that file, you have the same values.
Okay.
You can see here, same values you have it. Okay. Which we
Okay.
already have taken a note of it on Notepad. Okay.
Okay.
When if you don't want this file, you can delete. There's no importance for this particular file. So let's, for example, I'm deleting it now. I don't need it because I already have these details in my Notepad file, isn't it? So I have deleted
Yeah.
that particular file. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Abrar, good morning.
Sorry, good morning, Sunil. How are you?
I'm doing well, Abrar. Yes.
The thing is, I just want to know, these keys are specific to this IAM user or for generic for the all users?
It's generic for all users, not specific to one user. Okay.
How can we control the
We'll see.
access?
That's the need for roles. We'll see by using the concept of roles. Okay.
Okay, and one more question is in the IAM. So let's say in the organization, usually we'll have an, all the username and password in access Active Directory. So using that Active Directory, how can we sync to this IAM instead of using as an SSO?
Okay. We will see it soon. There is a special service for that, Abrar. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
You have to
And-
wait.
Okay. And one last question is like for the bucket, S3 bucket,
Mhm.
it's like how can we synchronize, replicate to a different account? Let's say we have two different accounts.
Okay.
So can we replicate that bucket?
Some like how we have replicated a EC2 machine in different region. In the
Yes.
same way, you want to replicate your bucket infrastructure,
Correct.
bucket the content, whatever you have it in a different bucket.
Yes. Let's say a client has two different accounts. So he
Okay.
want to.
You want to replicate it across two different accounts.
Correct.
Okay. So there are replication services, Abrar. Okay. You're using that replication services, you can replicate the EC2 machines. You can also replicate the S3 services. Okay, Abrar. That's a different concept.
Okay. Okay. Got
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. So let's done. I think we already see we are installing some special software. I think it's already done. So click on next. Accept the terms. Next. Install. So if you want to experience AWS command line interface from your personal laptop, you also needs to install this particular AWS CLI tool. Anuj Singh, your question.
Good morning, Sunil.
Good morning, Anuj. How was your weekend?
It was nice.
Yes,
So
tell me.
I'll be coming to the question. So if we have a very good and interactive and understandable GUI interface, is this command line interface gives more functionality? That's why Amazon developed this.
No. Many participants ask these questions. Okay, so as we have Geneva's GUI, whatever you want, we can do it using the graphical user interface. Okay, Anuj, what is the need for creating command line interface? What is the need for having this command line interface? Whatever we want, we can do it using the console access, isn't it, Anuj? Okay, let's say for example, you want to create some 100 buckets, Anuj. If you want to create a 100 buckets. In fact, when the volumes are more, going to the console access, selecting S3, create a new bucket, mentioning the region in which you want to create the bucket, and then all this, you click on create button, bucket gets created. Again, you need to do it second time, isn't it? Instead, once you have one command ready, copy paste that command 100 times and change the bucket names and change the regions, whichever you want. That becomes very, very comfortable. Okay. In fact, there are many people who are from network administrators, system administrators, who are very comfortable in Linux commands. They feel sometimes when the volumes are high, command line interface is much more comfortable when the volumes are high. So especially when the volumes are high, I have seen experiences where command line interface becomes more handy than a console access.
Got it. Now, is there any scripting we can implement it over
here? You can also do that. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
We can implement as a program, run it, and that will be done.
That is Terraform. Okay. When you write a code, when you run the code, the infrastructure gets created. Okay.
But that will be using CLI in background, right?
What it uses in the background, I am not aware of it. But you write a code and when you run the code, the infrastructure gets created. So that's called CloudFormation in AWS. Terraform is generic tool across all platforms. Okay.
Thank you, Sunil. Got my answer.
So we are done installing that special software. We are done with installing that special software. What is that software called as? AWS CLI tool, which we have installed it. As we are done installing it, now let's experience how can you connect to AWS cloud using the console access. Okay. Okay. If you want to connect to AWS cloud, we already have connected to console access. I think from the front end, that is console access. We already have done it. Okay. Just want to know how many instances we have. Right now, there's only one instance. Fine. Okay. If you want to connect to AWS cloud from the console access, we open the command prompt. How to open the command prompt? When you write CMD, you open the command prompt. Here you provide the credentials. The command to connect to AWS cloud. The command to connect to AWS cloud, as you can see in the notes, AWS configure. AWS configure is the command which helps you to connect to AWS cloud. When you run AWS configure, then it will ask for the credentials. What are the credentials it will ask for? Please observe here. Access key ID, and it will ask for secret key. Let's wait. It is asking for access key ID. We already have taken note of access key ID, which we already have generated, isn't it? So copy, I provide the access key ID. Next, it will ask for secret key. Yes, provide the secret key. Which region you want to connect? Which region you want to connect? Okay, AWS provides you different regions, isn't it? Which region, which data center you want to connect? It is prompting for AP South -1. So AP South- is nothing but Mumbai region. So I want to have the same region. So AP South -1, I want to connect. Next, what is the default output format? When you run the command output format, the response, I want it in the text format. That's it. You are connected. You are connected to AWS cloud using the command line interface. Okay. Okay. Let's experience it. Anuj, what is the proof? Anuj, I said that we are connected to AWS cloud from the command line interface, isn't it, Anuj? Okay. So what is the proof that you are connected? So To prove that you are connected to a command line interface, what I'll do, I go to S3. Right now, there are no buckets. So from the console access, I'm creating two buckets. Okay, bucket name can be anything. So bucket, I'm creating a bucket. Hyphen some number, I'm creating the bucket. By default, the bucket is blocked. You know that. You acknowledge the settings and create the bucket. Bucket created. Similarly, I want to create one more bucket. Acknowledge the settings. Create bucket. So Anuj, you can see from the console access, we have created two buckets, isn't it? One is bucket
Right.
hyphen 4564, the other one is bucket hyphen 5674. Some
74.
bucket, both the buckets I have created. From which access I have connected? I have created buckets using the console access, isn't it?
Right, right.
So from the console access, we have created two buckets. In such case, we should able to get that bucket information from the command line, because both the way you are connected to same account, isn't it?
Correct.
Same AWS cloud. If you are able to create some buckets in the console access, from the console access, you should able to get that buckets information in the command line. Okay.
Yeah,
The first point. In the interview, nobody will ask you to write the command to see list of all the buckets or tell me a command to see how to create a bucket. Nobody will ask you the command, Anuj.
Right.
But they'll ask you, you should be in a position to look at the documentation and search for the right command and run the right command so that you get what you want. Now, Anuj, what we want is to see list of all the buckets, isn't it? Whenever you want to see list of all the buckets, I want to see the buckets which I have in the AWS account from the console access. So what you need to do, you should be in a position to identify the right command. So AWS S3 commands. Search for AWS S3 commands. That's what we want, isn't it, Anuj? Okay. Take the first link. That is docs.aws.com. AWS has created a very good documentation for the commands. Okay. S3. Scroll down. So scroll down. At the end, you will find. Available commands. Anuj, can you see
Right.
we have available
Available
commands? Okay. So we have CP, we have LS, a lot of commands. So let's go with, generally in Linux, we have LS stands for list, isn't it, Anuj? Okay.
List. Right.
So I'm doing some guesswork. Look at this. LS, list S3 objects. Okay. So they have given a description for this and there will be a syntax for this. Okay. Can you see this, Anuj? AWS S3 LS is the first command what we have learned now. The first command what we have learned is AWS S3 LS will show us list of all the
buckets.
So I'm running the same command. I'm running the same command in the console access. Anuj, are you getting the same bucket names 4564 and 5764? Are you getting the same bucket names?
Right.
Whatever you have created in the console access, that is getting reflected in the command line. That is a proof that we are connected to same account.
Same account.
Agree? Isn't it?
Right.
And this is the first AWS command what we have learned, AWS S3LS. Quick information about AWS command. Every AWS command starts with AWS. Okay. Followed with service name, followed with the command. That's how you have to remember the syntax. Anuj, every AWS command starts with AWS, followed with the service name which you want to deal with and the actual command which helps you to perform the functionality. So this is how we have learned how to list out the buckets. Number one. Number two, Anuj, can we create a new bucket from the command line?
Yes.
Can we create a bucket from the command line? Yes, definitely. Yes. Go back to our documentation where we have seen list of all the buckets. Okay. Can you guess what is CP?
CP is copy.
Copy. Can you guess what is MB? Probably make bucket.
Make bucket.
Okay. So creates a S3 bucket. That's what we want in a position. That's what we want, isn't it? So you should be in a position, Anuj, to identify the right command using the documentation. So they have given a syntax also. So I'm just copy pasting the syntax. As we know, every AWS command starts with AWS followed with the service name, followed with the command MB, and as per the syntax, the bucket should be starting with S3 colon / followed with the bucket name. Bucket name can be anything. For example, I'm writing a bucket name with the name bucket -10345. Got it? When I run this command, what will happen, Anuj?
New bucket will be created.
New bucket will be created. Let's experience is the new bucket getting created or not. Look at the response of that. Successfully, the new bucket has been created. The bucket name is bucket -10345. If I have created new bucket from the console access, that bucket should also be visible in the as I have created bucket from the command line interface, that should also be visible in the console access. I agree?
Correct.
It should be reflecting, because finally whatever you do it from the command line should be reflected in the console, and whatever you have done it from the console access, it should be reflected into the command line. So click on refresh.
Is this not a case sensitive, Sunil?
1 minute,
have one
please.
space or
1
multiple?
minute. Now, are you able to see the bucket which is created from the command line, the console access? So what does that mean? This means you are connected to a same AWS cloud. There are two approaches to work with. In fact, if you want to create an EC2 machine also, Anuj, you can create an EC2 machine.
Correct.
Okay. So if you want to delete a bucket, you can delete a bucket. What if you want to upload the object into the bucket, there is a command. So whatever you want to, you can do it. Remember, whatever you can do it from the console access, there is an equivalent command. If you want to enable versioning in that bucket, there is a command. So you have equivalent commands in the command line interface. Please look at this. You are able to see AWS S3 LS. We are able to see list of all the buckets. Okay. So we already have learned how to create a bucket. We have a command called MB, stands for make bucket, and we already have experienced this command, and the bucket got created. That bucket got visible in the console access also. I want to upload the file into the bucket. Yes. If you want to upload the file, go back to your documentation. As I told you, nobody will ask you to write the commands, because there are thousands of commands for every service. You should be in a position to look at the documentation and get the right command, frame the command which helps you to perform the functionality what you want. So we have a command called CP. Anuj, can you guess? Copies a local file to the S3 bucket.
S3.
Copies a local file to the S3 bucket. That's what I want. I want to upload the object. I already have created a bucket. This is the bucket which we have created from the command line interface. Right now, as you know, the bucket is empty. Now I want to upload the objects into the bucket. Yes, there's a command called CP command, which helps you to upload the objects. So you need to get a syntax. Examples, and this is the bucket command. So Anuj, let's try to frame the example by looking at the syntax. AWS S3 CP, and mention the file name what you want to upload. They have given a simple file name called test.txt. You mention the file name what you want to upload. What I want to upload, for example, Anuj, I want to upload this particular file. Okay, what is the file name? AWS image.jpeg. JPEG is the file which I want to upload. So mention that particular file name. I hope I'm very clear, Anuj. Mention the file name what you want to upload, and it's always recommended not to have any spaces. So it's always recommended not to have any spaces. Fine. So I pick up the file name now. And then S3 colon / the bucket name. What is the bucket name? This is the bucket name.
Right.
And when you want to upload, you want to maintain the same name or a different name. It's up to you. I want to maintain the same name. So like this, we should be in a position to upload the objects. Okay. So, and then that particular object should be there in this particular location. If my object is there in desktop, it will not be picked up. It should be available in C : users admin folder. So I copy this image. C drive users admin folder. I am pasting this particular image. Okay, now the image is available at my location. Are you understanding, Anuj?
Right.
Okay, so running. Hopefully this will work. Copy. I'm clearly mentioning what image I want, what object I want to copy. I'm clearly mentioning which bucket I want to copy. Let's experience. It has looks like uploaded. That should be available in the console access. This is the bucket which we have used for uploading the object. Is the available image available, Anuj?
Right.
So like this, there are thousands of commands. Okay, so go back to the notes. Okay, it helps you to copy the files into the bucket.
Files.
Okay, so
So
like
why-
this, what I want to tell you, Anuj, there are thousands of commands. Whatever you can do it from the console access. If you want to enable versioning, there's a command. If you want to delete a particular object, there's a command. If you want to delete a bucket, there's a command. If you want to enable cross-region application, there's a command. If you want to enable lifecycle management, there's a command. If you want to provide public access, there is a command. If you want to provide a private access, write access is a command. So you don't need to learn the commands, but you should be in a position to, if required, you should be in a position to search for the documentation, get the right command, run the command, and achieve the command line interface approach.
Sunil,
Yes.
this particular, when we create a bucket, it will accept all the default values. Like in the GUI console, we were having checking and unchecking the checkboxes.
Everything there's an equivalent command. Okay.
So
You
while
have
creating
to-
it will be accepting the default values,
Default
which is-
options, and then if you want, you can write the command to
Modify.
have some modify options, or you can also modify from the console access. Up to you. Okay.
Right.
But everything can be possible using the command line. Okay, Anuj. Thank
Correct.
you.
Welcome.
Ravi Raj. Good morning. Your question, please. Ravi Raj, I can see your hand raised. Your question, please.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ravi. How are you doing?
I'm good, sir. What about you, sir?
I'm doing well. Clear about the command line approach and how can we connect to AWS account
Yes.
and how
yes,
can
yes,
we
yes.
work with the command line interface and what are the credentials which are required. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir. Yes, yes. Actually, my question is we are enabling the replication, sir, in the S3 buckets.
Yes.
Okay, so if I delete the data in my bucket,
So not my bucket, source bucket or destination
source
bucket.
bucket, yes, sir, yes, sir. If I
Okay.
delete data in the source bucket, so automatically the another region that
No, it will not be replicated. So it's only for creation process. We already have discussed it. Once you update the object in the source bucket, it will not be reflected in the destination. If you delete an object, it will not be reflected. So both are completely independent objects. Ravi. Okay.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you.
Any questions on command line interface? Raghava Reddy.
Hey, hi Sunil.
Hi Raghava.
So here my question is, while logging CLI, we are mentioning the region, right?
Region.
Region. It is
Region. Yes, you are
south.
right.
Yep.
You are right.
So if
So
you
that
want
is
to
the
create,
reason. That's the reason. Whenever you are creating a bucket,
Mhm.
okay, that bucket is belonging to Mumbai region. Okay.
right?
Yes.
So here the CLI means it will cover all services, right? EC2 and everything.
You are right.
So if I want to create a EC2 EC2, so will that comes under same region or
Yes,
can I
as you have
mention?
selected AP-South-1, that particular EC2 mission gets created in that specific region. If you want to create a mission in different region, there is a different syntax you need to follow. At the same time, you should mention the region name. And when you mention the region name, the EC2 mission gets created in a different region. There are
Okay.
different syntaxes, Raghava. Okay.
Okay. Got it.
Exclusively, you should mention a different region so that it gets created in a different region. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So we have experienced command line interface. Now tell me, so we have executed some commands. We have learned how to say list of all the buckets. We have learned how to create a new bucket. We also have learned how to upload the objects. So using the command line interface, we are dealing with S3 only. Can't we deal with identity and access management? Can we create a user. Can we create a user from the command line? We have seen how to create an IAM user from the console access, but my point is, can we create a user from the command line? First, go to console access. Let's go to identity and access management. I want to go to identity and access management. Let's see how many number of users as of now our account is having. As you can see, there are 0 users. As you can see, there are 0 users in our AWS account. There are 0 IAM users. So can we create a new user? Obviously, from the console access, you can do it. But our point is to make ourselves comfortable with the command line interface. Can we create a new IAM user from the command line? Yes, definitely you can do that. So in such case, you should be in a position to search for the command, right? So you have to search for AWS IAM commands. Okay, so get the first documentation IAM command. These are the available commands. These are the available commands. Can you see, Anuj? By looking at the command, you can easily figure out what exactly the command can do. Can you guess, Anuj? Create -group. What this will do? This will create a group. Create -user. This will create a user, isn't it? So there are a lot of create policy. This helps you to create a customized policy. So we have a delete policy, which helps you to delete a policy. Whatever you want to do it, you can see there are a lot of commands. A lot of commands we are having. Whatever you want, you can do it. So what I want to create a user. So what could be the command? Obviously, create -user could be the command which helps you to create a new IAM user, creates a new IAM user for your account, isn't it? And then scroll down here, you should search for the examples. This is the example which I have copied it. So mention the user, whatever you want to create. Let's say I want to create a user with the name something like user 10. So what this will happen? Sorry. Anuj, what happens when I run this particular command from the command line? So what happens? The user gets
Created.
No doubt on that.
Pretty simple commands.
So user gets created. Now will it be reflected in the console access?
Yes.
Let's check. Now I just click on refresh. I think the user got created. Right now this user is not having any policies. Right now these are having 0 policies. Okay, so right now there are no policies. You can see here there are no policies attached. Can we attach a policy? You should be in a position to search for the command, run the right command, and then which helps you to, okay,
Create policy.
And add user to the group. What will do? It will add user to the group. Okay, create -group. So please spend some time. So there are a lot of commands which helps you to make yourself comfortable with the command line interface. There are many people who feel command line interface is much more better way of working than the console access. Okay.
So syntax will always be the same. AWS service name and then
yes, as a quick information, for every AWS command starts with the AWS followed with the service name. We are dealing with IAM, isn't it, Anuj? So that is the reason you can see IAM followed with the create -user, and you should -user. You need to look for the syntax and run the syntax. So like this, there are thousands of commands in AWS. Most of the operations we can do it from the command line. Whatever you can do it from the console access, you can do it from the command line. We don't need to remember the commands. Nobody will ask you, tell me the command to create a user, but you should be in a position to look at the documentation, find the right command and frame the command and run it so that the activity is performed. So we have experienced AWS CLI from which machine? From my Windows machine, from my personal laptop, from the command prompt. I have experienced AWS CLI from the Windows machine. Can we use AWS CLI on Linux machine? Okay, from the Linux machine, Anuj, are you understanding? Can we experience AWS CLI from the Linux machine? Yes or no? Definitely yes. So I want to show you AWS CLI on Linux machine. If I want to show AWS CLI on Linux, I should have Linux operating system, isn't it, Anuj? I don't have Linux operating system. So what we'll create a Linux EC2 machine. Okay, and then I experience AWS CLI from the Linux machine. Okay. Thank you. I want to show you AWS CLI from Linux. What's our agenda? I want to show you, we have already experienced AWS CLI. So now if anybody asks you about command line interface, you are in a position to talk something, you know how to console, how to connect to AWS CLI, you have to generate the keys. Once you have the keys, AWS configure is a command. You need to open the command. You need to install one small software, AWS CLI tool for Windows. and then you need to run a command called AWS configure. It will ask for the credentials, provide the two values, access key ID and secret key, using which you will be connected. And now you're in a position to comfortably write a command and perform the activity what I want. Now what I want to tell you is that I want to experience CLI on Linux. I want to show you AWS CLI on Linux. So for that, what I'll do, I'll create a new Linux mission. Okay. So for that, let's go to EC2 service. Instances. Right now, there are no instances. I'm going ahead and creating a new instance. Going with Amazon Linux as usual. T2 micro instances, only one instance. Configure security group, SSH, and I'm opening both the ports. Review the details. Click on launch. It will ask you to create a new key pair. I will be creating a new key pair. Key pair name can be anything. For example, I'm writing it as Linux with today's date 30, and I want to download the key pair. In my desktop, I have created a folder called Sunil folder. In this particular folder, I download my key pair. That's fine. Launch instances. View instances. So this is the Linux machine got created. I want to connect to this Linux machine using PuTTY. So what I need to do is to open PuTTygen, and I convert the PEM file to PPK file. So I open PuTTygen, load, go to all files. In desktop, there's a folder called Sunil folder. This is the PEM file. Save private key, yes. PPK file. I've converted PEM file to PPK file, so I will be connecting to the same Linux machine using PuTTY. Select the machine, click on connect, user at DNS. Under SSH, under authentication. Connected, okay? Let's increase the font size for better visibility. Let's increase the font size for better visibility. Yes, now. I have connected. Now, what's our plan? Our plan is to experience command line interface from the console access. Okay. Anuj, when we have experienced the command line interface from my personal laptop, we have installed one special software called AWS CLI tool for Windows.
For Windows.
Right?
Right.
In such case, we may guess we should download and install AWS CLI tool for Linux, isn't it? Isn't it? Because it is a Linux operating system.
Linux.
But as this is an EC2 machine, these Amazon AMI images are already pre-installed with AWS CLI. You do not need to install AWS CLI again. Okay, got it? These EC2 machines will be pre-configured with AWS CLI. Are you understanding, Anuj? You don't need to install AWS CLI tool for Linux. Is not required. Okay, all EC2 machines comes with AWS CLI already installed in it. Okay, next. So let's switch to root user. Switch
But
to
command
root
will be same.
user.
Yum install something like that.
Yeah, let's update the repository just for checking. Is that updating the repository perfectly done? Okay. What are the credentials which are required to connect to AWS CLI? Access key ID and
Private key.
secret key.
Secret.
And what is the command which helps you to connect? AWS configure.
Right.
Isn't it, Anuj? In the Windows
Right.
machine also we have done the same thing.
Same command.
We have used AWS configure. If you want to refer, you can refer it. AWS configure is the command. Then only it will prompt for access key ID and secret key. Okay. So here I am also running the same command. AWS configure. It is asking for access key ID. We have taken a note of it. This one. Secret key. Which region? Any region. You can write AP South -1 refers to Mumbai region, isn't it?
Right.
Output format. You're connected to CLI.
Sunil, if someone puts the wrong one, then it will get account may get locked.
Account
Just
will not be locked. You will not be connected. That's it. Okay.
Okay.
Now, I want to create a group. AWS IAM create user. We already have experienced. I want to show you create group. So create -group is a command which helps you to create a group. The name of the group I'm creating is DevOps Anuj. Okay. So what happens when I run this command from the CLI? What happens when I run this command? So obviously, what will happen? The group get created. Can this group will be reflected in the console access? Yes or no? So obviously, definitely, isn't it? So go to services, go to identity and access management.
Groups.
Go to groups, and you can see the DevOps group has been created. Is there any difference whether it's Windows access or a command line interface where it does not make any difference with respect to operating system? So what I'm doing here again, I'm creating a user. The name of the user is Raj. Again, what happens in the console access? Obviously, the Raj got created. Raj user got created, isn't it, Anuj?
Right.
So the commands does not make any difference with respect to the operating system. I just want to show you. We have seen how to connect to CLI from the Linux machine. Anuj, is it?
Right.
One important point you need to keep in mind. Now I am introducing the concept of roles. Okay. Okay. Before explaining what is role, I directly create a role for better clarity. This is a role, isn't it, Anuj? Okay.
True one.
Role is having two ends. Okay. Source, I mention it as EC2. This is source. I mention it as source. I mention it as EC2. Destination, I'm mentioning it as S3 full access. Okay.
Right.
Anuj?
Right.
I have not explained what is role, but before explaining, I'm directly creating a role. I'm creating a role. Role name can be anything. Role name can be role 1 or my role, whatever it is. Okay. So role name can be anything. I'm creating a role with the name my_role1. This is the name of the role which I want to create. And what is the source of the role, Anuj?
EC2.
EC2. And what is the destination of the role? S3 full access. What is S3 full access? It's a policy. Agree? Generally, we attach S3 full access to user, IAM user. When you attach a policy to a user, that user will have only S3 full access. We have learned that in last session, isn't it?
Right.
Generally, we attach policies to the users. Here we are attaching policy to the role. Okay, that's what we are now. Let's create it. So let's create a role. Okay, so that I am creating from the console access. In the console access, there's a concept called roles. Okay, do not worry about the existing roles. There are some existing roles. Do not worry about existing roles. So what we are creating is a new role, isn't it, Anuj? So create a role. And first, the moment you create a role, it will ask for the source. Okay, I'm selecting EC2 as the source. Source can be Lambda. Source can be a number of services. Not all the services, only limited number of services. To this example, to make it clear, I'm selecting it as source
EC2.
as EC2. Next. What policy you want to attach it? S3 full access is a policy which you want to attach it, isn't it? Amazon S3 full access. Next. Name tag. What is the role name? My_role1 is the name of the role.
Right.
Review the details. Okay, here also we can provide the role. That's fine. My_role1 is the name of the role. And then I go ahead and create role. Role has been created. Where can we see the role which you have created? When you search for the role, my_role1, this is the role which you have created. Okay. The source of the role is EC2 and destination of the policy what we have attached is S3 full access. Next. As the source is EC2, I attach the role to the EC2 machine. I attach the role to the EC2 machine. We have created one EC2 machine. We have created one EC2 machine. What is the name of the EC2 machine? Linux. This is the EC2 machine which I have created. Now what I'm doing, I am attaching the role to this particular EC2 machine. The name of the EC2 machine is Linux. Point 1. How can we attach a role to an EC2 machine? Select the machine, actions, instance setting. Can you see attach or replace IAM role, Anuj?
Right.
Here we are attaching the role. What is the right now? There are no role. Do you remember what is the name of the role? My_role1. Can you see the role which you have created?
Correct.
So what I have done, I have attached the role to the EC2 machine. Okay. I have attached the role to the EC2 machine. Okay. Now, Anuj, coming back to the importance of role. Okay. Now, we have connected to same EC2 machine. Do you agree?
Right.
Isn't it? This is the same EC2 machine we have connected. Okay. I want to create user from the CLI. We have a command to create a user. We already have a command to create a user. Okay. I want to create a user. The name of the user is user20. Can I do it?
Right.
AWS IAM create -user-user-name and the username is user20. When you do this, what will happen? When you run this command, what will happen? The user gets created. Do you agree?
Right.
Okay. But this particular EC2 machine is having a role attached to it. That role is having what access?
S3 full access.
That means you can only run S3 related commands. Okay, so it will take some time. Right now it has been successfully created. It will take some time. Okay, still user getting created. Let's create a bucket. practically what happens is, as we have attached the role, okay, and that role is having what
Is
S3
there not
full
any activate option?
No,
Once
no,
we
not
attach it?
activate action. What we'll do, we'll disconnect it.
Yeah, maybe reconnecting it back.
We'll reconnect it back. Is this the PPK file? Yes.
Right.
Connected. So error occurred. We are unable to create a user from this particular Linux machine. Can you justify the answer, Anuj?
Right.
Why? Because you are restricting this particular machine. You are restricting this particular machine only for S3 full access. So can I write AWS S3 LS to see list of all the buckets?
Yeah. that will-
AWS S3 LS, which will help you to list the buckets because you have provided permission for S3 access. Okay. But if you create a user, if you try to create a user, okay, or if you try to create a group, it will not work.
Apart from S3, it will deny everything.
Apart from S3, it will deny everything. So I want to test one more time, creating a user. Error denied. You are unable to create a user. So I think most of you may have a doubts when I'm explaining about command line interface. You may have a question, Anuj. Using command line interface, anybody can do anything, isn't it? When you have the access key ID, secret key ID. Okay, from the console access, using the identity and access management, using IAM user, what you're doing, you are creating an IAM user. If this particular user wants to have S3 access, you are providing S3 role to that particular user. That's how you're restricting security with respect to console access. How do you restrict security with respect to command line interface? Once if you have the secret key access key ID, anybody can connect and anybody can do anything, isn't it, Anand? So what we'll do, we will create a role and we attach the Linux machine to the we attach the EC2 machine. We will attach the role to the EC2 machine and we provide them EC2 access. Okay, so he will be connecting to that particular machine, and then from there he is not allowed to do anything. He'll be allowed as per the roles policies what we have attached. So roles are used to provide restricted access to the command line interface. I hope I have explained it, I have made it clear. Okay.
So Sunil, for managing the AWS environment, if I have 100 or 50 admins here, I can create one EC2 machine for everyone and attach a
Ask
role
them
to
to
every
connect
EC2.
to the. That's it.
Right.
Okay.
So when we
So-
they are connect
No,
when
no,
we are
one-
connecting to
Yep.
when we are connecting to command from GUI console, there is no need for roles. There are and we can
No,
options.
we
choose
already
for-
have attached policies to
pol-
the user level.
policies. Right.
Okay, but here there is no concept of user, isn't it? So we have a command line. So what we do, AWS roles comes into handy. Okay, so
But here
like
also we can create a user and attach policies.
which user?
Here we can also from command line we can create a user and attach maybe a test user one.
That becomes console access user.
Okay.
Okay, isn't it? That is an IAM user, isn't it? When you're logging into aws.console.com, you have an option created. Do you want to log in with the root user or IAM user? That is IAM user again. Back to there's no concept of username in the command line, right?
Right. Got
Anuj.
it. The admins will be given a particular IP address to manage the account.
That's it.
Simple. And
Okay.
every policy is being implemented as a role on that machine.
That's it. Perfect.
Got
Okay.
it.
So like this, it also helps you to maintain the security. Okay. So if you remove the roles, if you remove a role, we have learned how to create a role and how to attach the role. Okay. Anuj, can we remove the role? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, we can remove the role. How can you remove the role? Select the EC2 machine, go to actions, There's an option called attach or replace roles. Right now, one role is attached to the EC2 machine. There's an option called no role.
No role.
Click on apply. Detach the IAM role. Yes, I want to detach the IAM role. This particular role is now detached. When the role has been detached, now he will get the full access. Okay. Now this will take some time. So let's disconnect it. Okay. And again, let's I'm making it very clear, my dear friends, with the help of
Becomes a
Anuj.
normal
It's
user.
not that I'm only talking to Anuj. I'm making the concepts very clear by taking the interaction with Anuj. So click on connect. I am taking the user at the rate DNS name. Now Anuj, observation, there is no role attached to this particular EC2 machine. Okay. Are you understanding?
Right.
Authentication and then mention the PPK file. As there is no role attached, let's go to switch user. So we are now and then can we create a now user? Okay.
Yes.
So first AWS config is a command. You need to provide the credentials. When you're providing the role, you don't need to provide the credentials. Okay. So when you are not attaching the role, you need to provide the credentials. What is the command? AWS
Configure.
AWS configure is the command. Access key ID.
So when there is a role, no need to provide this particular.
Roles are replacement of credentials. You don't need to provide the credentials because when you're trusting a EC2 machine, you will attach the role so that you'll have restricted access. And then the perfect. And then now I want to create an IAM user. As there is no restriction, Anuj, user gets created. Its command successfully completed. Okay. When you attach the role and you restrict the at the role level, you can add policies and remove the policies. Okay. If you want this EC2 mission to both the EC2 access as well as EC2 full access and SC, you can attach multiple policies. Anuj, are you understanding? So that means that EC2 mission you have both the access to both the services like you deal with. So generally, policies we attach it to the users and the roles we attach it to the EC2 machines. That's the concept. Okay.
Correct.
Clear. So thank you, Anuj. So what's our agenda for today's session? So we have learned how to experience the command line interface. We have experienced the CLI, and you now know how roles will help you to provide a security with respect to command line interface. Okay. By attaching policies to that particular role and adding the role to that particular EC2 mission. So we provide them the access to the EC2 mission. From there, they will have restricted access. I hope I have very clear about the concept of command line interface. With this, we have completed IAM, stands for Identity and Access Management. Identity and Access Management is all about making ourselves comfortable with the 4 terminologies. IAM user. Okay, we should be comfortable with the group. You should be comfortable with the concept of policies. Policies are nothing but permissions, and then we should be comfortable about the concept of roles. We had discussed, and we also have exposed towards the command line interface. So that's what we have to. We now know about AWS Identity and Access Management Service. Tomorrow we are moving on to next service, which is the most important service in the course. Most preferred service when you most number of questions you get it in the interview with respect to the service what we are starting tomorrow, that is about VPC, stands for Virtual Private Cloud. The next 4 sessions will be completely dependent on VPC, Virtual Private Cloud, one of the most important services in the course. You get most number of questions when you are attending the interview about VPC. So what is VPC? Please do not miss the beginning. Every session is having a dependency. First, second session is dependent on first session, third session. The next 4 sessions are mutually dependent between each other. Please attend the VPC concepts continuously right from tomorrow to throughout the next 4 sessions so that you have a clear understanding about the concept of VPC. Okay. So before ending, let's have a small interaction with some of the participants. Pratyusha.
Hi, Sonal.
Hi, Pratyusha. How are you doing?
Hi, yeah, I'm fine. Actually, the thing was, I'm a project manager, and I was liking my team is working on DevOps too, and
Okay.
I'm a little bit interested in DevOps, and so I just wanted to learn the course completely.
Okay.
The thing is, unfortunately, I didn't attend some of your. I know how the AWS is created and everything, and I don't know the part of this S3 and bucket. The few sessions that I've missed a part, so
Okay.
I wanted those recordings. I mean, I've sent you the amount. Can you get
Okay.
me? I need the recordings. From now on, I'll be attending the sessions
That's
continuously.
fine.
That is very,
You have made the payment, right? Send the payment
yeah,
screenshot to.
yeah.
Have you made the
I've,
payment screenshot to support@logiclabstech.com? Are you in the WhatsApp group?
yeah, but the thing is, I've directly the number which is being presented on the screens now that I've sent it to that mail ID.
No, no.
That WhatsApp number.
No. You have to send the
No.
proof of payment to this email address, support@logiclabstech.com. Okay. Then you will get the
Okay.
response from our team. Our backend team
Okay.
regularly works with this particular email, support@logiclabstech.com.
Okay
Pratyusha.
then.
So you
Okay,
have made the
sure.
payment, right? How did you make the payment? Using the first option, the InstaMojo payment link.
InstaMojo and through GPay I've made it.
You
InstaMojo
have
link
made it.
itself.
Okay. When did you
Yeah,
do
I've
that?
made it. Just now while the class is going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our team will respond to you. Yeah. I got just information from our team. You already have received an email from our team. Okay. So please check
Okay.
your email. In case if you have not received it, you can send an email to support@logiclabstech.com. Pratyusha, you will
Okay,
get the
yeah,
recordings
sure.
right from day one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got it. I got
You
the
got
mail
it,
from
and
your
you get
team.
the right from
Yeah.
day one. All the sessions you get it. Okay. And
Yeah, I got it.
thank
And
you.
one more, yeah, sure. And
Yep.
one more thing, I've covered your DevOps, like from 17th onwards, your DevOps batch has been started, and I followed the 3 days you have given
Right.
in YouTube. No, I've
Yes, you are
also
right.
followed the three batches I followed. Can you just
3 sessions.
3 sessions? Yes. The rest of the sessions, do I join for the next batch, or I could do it now?
The DevOps batch is right now going at morning 6 o'clock. I hope you know that.
Yeah.
Session timings are starting at 6 a.m. IST. Okay. So if the
Okay.
timing is feasible for you,
I don't think so. 6.
so please wait
6.
for new batch. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Okay, please
Sure,
wait for
sure.
new batch. We will be starting new batch in a different time. Or what you can do,
Okay.
you can if you think that recordings will become handy for you, you can buy the
Mhm.
recordings. Okay, of the 6 a.m. batch.
Okay.
Once you buy the
Okay.
recordings, you can you are eligible to attend the live training again for free. You don't need to pay it again for the upcoming batch. In case if you want to save time, you can get the recordings of morning 6 o'clock, which is going on, and then you can attend the live training in the upcoming batches. Okay, that's for free.
Okay. I mean, the same amount I should transfer, or amount is different?
The price is different. You have support email. Our team will respond to you. Okay.
Okay, sure,
So
sure,
if you want
definitely.
to get the recordings, our team will respond to you, Pratyusha. Okay.
Yeah,
So
okay,
that you
sure.
can buy the recordings. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you,
you.
Pratyusha. How is your learning
Yeah,
experience?
yeah, that's very good. So that's the reason I immediately, from the last night onwards, I was going through. I completed all your YouTube recordings, and
Okay.
today I just was waiting for your
Thank
session
you.
to start.
Fortunate to
Yeah,
talk to
it's
you.
very good. Yeah, it's very good actually.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Let's have one more interaction. Rakesh Monga.
Yeah, Sunil, my question was that security key and that access key.
Yes.
Is this dependent on the region, or it will be same for
Same for all regions.
The same?
Yes, you are right.
Okay, it's the same.
Okay. It's not specific to region. Okay.
Okay.
When you provide the credentials, do you remember? Have you seen it is prompting for which region you want to connect?
Right.
So it's not. It's common for all the regions, Rakesh.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you all. I hope you have enjoyed the session of Identity and Access Management Service. Tomorrow we are starting VPC, the mother of all services. Very important service. Please do not miss the beginning session of tomorrow. Okay. Have a nice time. Bye, everybody. Thank you very much.